Hello, you all. It is March 16th, 2019, Saturday afternoon. My name is Doris, and this is the Knit and Purl Podcast, episode 170. The title, I can't even. I can't even explain why it's been over a month, but I'm going to try to. So, bear with me. You can find the show notes for this podcast on knitandpurl-doris.blogspot.com. In social media, I am One Fine Cow, all spelled out, on Ravelry and Twitter. I am One Fine Design, the number one, on Facebook and Etsy, and I am Doris M. Smith, all lowercase and smooshed together on Instagram. But alas, you don't have to remember all of these things, because in the down bar below there is a link to the show notes. In the show notes, there is a link to all of the social medias, so you can click on the show notes, go over, and at the top of the show notes, you'll see links to my social medias. Please go over, click, follow, and I'll follow you back. So, also, this podcast has a Ravelry group, which is the Knit and Purl Podcast group, also linked in the down bar below. I do a Ravelry group birthday shout out every podcast, and since it's been a month and a half, it's going to be from February 16th. We're just going to go through the end of the month of March 31st. So I'm going to shout out these birthdays. So we have JJ, who's Jan. Her birthday was on the 29th of February. We have Banner Girl 229, who is Lane. Her birthday was also on the 29th of February. Let me move this out of the way. And we have Kalia B4, and if I said that wrong, I apologize. Who's Karen? Her birthday was on the 6th of March. We have Jerito, who is Jerry. Her birthday was on the 12th of March. We have Happy Scrappy Life, who is Lisa. Her birthday is today. Happy birthday. We have May G, who is Gloria. Her birthday is on the 22nd of March. And we have L. Clark 10/18/96, who is Lori. Her birthday is on the 20th. If I left anybody out, I apologize. And if you have a birthday during this time and you don't share that information on Ravelry, happy birthday to you as well. I know that's not my normal. Hope you had a wonderful birthday, and I'm going to say it. I hope that you had a wonderful birthday, that you got good gifts, good fibery gifts, that you got to spend time with friends and family, and that you had your version of a birthday cake. I know that's stunted, and I apologize. It's been a while. I'm a little out of practice. So we have in the group also a read along for February, which is Heart Health Month and also Valentine's. So, it started on February 1st and it will end on March 31st. The rules are: you must be a member of the group to qualify for prizes, knit or crochet in shades of red, and post a finished object by March 31st. I have to change that in the show notes because I recently just decided we're just going to go through to the end of March. As you're knitting, think about those you know that you love, and also those that you know who have heart health issues. Chatters welcome on the thread. The prize will be a $25 Etsy gift card. So please, you still have 2 more weeks, so get some red yarn and knit or crochet up something, get it posted so that you have a chance to get a $25 gift card from Etsy. Also included in the show notes at this point is a link to my heart health story video on YouTube. So go click and watch that if you're interested. This is why that February and the read along is an important thing for me. So That brings us to Story of the Week and Stash Enhancement, and you will find out the reason why it's been a month and a half since I podcast last. But first, let's do the Stash Enhancement. I was in Florida and I visited the Dustin Yarn store, which I do every year, and got some lovely things. Let's see if I can. If you go to the Emerald Coast of Florida, to Destin, this is the place to be. She has a lot of indie dyed yarn. She's very friendly, and there you go. So I purchased some red yarn for the read along. It's Plymouth Yarn Encore, which is 75% acrylic and 25% wool. In the color, it's red, and the number is 1385. So yeah, the color, the lighting is blowing it out, but it's just red for the read along, and you'll see that in the finished objects. I also got some Plymouth Yarns coffee beans. It's kind of cool. Also Plymouth Yarns. It is a worsted in the color 9202. And it's 75/25 acrylic wool. But I got some art Ancient Arts yarn. It's gorgeous. It's a fingering. Let me try to show you. Speckly goodness. The name of the colorway is a fingering. Well, what is the name of the colorway? Garden Gnomes and Pink Flamingos. So pretty. Never had any of this. Never had this yarn before. I also got some Nice and Knit fingering. Nice and Knit Superwash Merino fingering. And the color is Bikini, which is appropriate since we were on the beach in Destin. Yeah, you can't really see the color. The lighting is blowing it out, but it is a soft pink with speckles of pink and gold and blue and green and just beautiful. But you can't see it. Oh, there you go. There you go. So pretty. Nice and Knit in the color Bikini. It is 490 yards. Fingering. This one is a lighter, more of a heavier weight fingering. It has 385 yards. I also purchased another fingering, which is in a whip. I'm going to show you the ball. It's beautiful. It is from On the Round. I'm going to show you the ball. It is On the Round signature sock in the speckled cosmic rainbow colorway. And you'll see that in the whips. That's the yarn purchases. I also got some eucalyptus. And I also got a needle to work on the Read Along project, which is a Chowgu US 8 16-inch circular. There you go. Those were my yarny purchases from Florida. So now comes the hard part. Just going to try to do it. while we were in Florida, we left on the 15th of February, drove down in 2 days to Florida, to Destin. We had a beautiful beachfront house and on the Gulf, on the Emerald Coast, close to Destin, and we were having it was an okay time. The weather was not as good as last year. It was like overcast and a lot of rain and a lot of fog over the water, but it was nice. It was relaxing. But on Thursday, the 21st, I don't know. On Thursday, the 21st of February, Ted had a stroke. And we spent an extra week in Florida, and blessing upon blessing, Ted's sister, who was with us, and our friend Judy, who was also with us, stayed with us that extra week. And the kids came down, his kids came down, and they drove my car back, and Ted and I left on Saturday, the 23rd of February, on our way back from Florida to the St. Louis area, to a rehab hospital, which he's been in since then. He's making improvements every day. He had a left brain stroke, which affected his right side. He has weakness and hemiplegia in his right side. He has speech issues. He has swallowing issues. Yeah, but we're making it. On the 25th of this month, he will be coming home, wheelchair bound, and continuing his therapy in a day program. And if you all, this is so hard. Please keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we go through this. We believe we are claiming healing and full recovery. So please keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we go through this. Thank you. Just get into the foes. I'm just doing a baseline episode today with just, the story of the week and the foes and the whips, and that'll be it for today. So I hope you'll be patient with me on this. So, finished objects. The first finished object is my Tecumseh, which seems like I finished a month ago, which I did. I finished it and wore it. The first day I wore it was when Ted and I left for Florida on the 15th of February. So here you go. The Tecumseh is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry by Caitlin Hunter, Boyland Knits. The yarn I used was the Hobium yarns in the Cozy Wool Sport in gray, which is the main color, and then the yellow and the smoky gray. All of them are the Kartapu Cozy Wool Sport in the 3 colors. I used US 4s and US 6s, 40-inch circulars throughout this process. And here you have it. I think I'll put it on. It won't look as good because, what I have on, but I'm going to show you what it looks like on. It doesn't. So here you have it. I love it. I wore it with jeans with a what do you call it? Cami under it that came down a little bit lower. I'll try to insert a picture of it because I did an Instagram post. I love it. It's awesome. This is an extra large, which fits me just fine. Anyway, that is my first finished object. I love it so much. The yarn, it's okay. It's, you get what you pay for. It was cheap, but it's better than a cheap yarn. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna take it off. Okay. So that is my Tecumseh, and I also finished my Read Along project. Let me see. Which is the thank you hat, or the simple ribbed hat, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Pearl Soho. The yarn I used is the Plymouth Yarn Encore in red, which is number 1385. And I think this is 100, let me see, I think this is 100% acrylic, but let me look just to make sure. 7525. The needles I used were the Chowgu US 8 5mm in the 16-inch circular. And then I finished it with a set of Clover double points. Anything else you need to know? You have it. I like this pattern. It's simple, it's easy, and I really like this little tassel thing, which is part of the pattern. My read along for heart health and Valentine's Day. There you go. So this is actually my second finished hat this year, which is better than I did last year. Ta-da! Okay. That is all the faux. And I only have 2 whips. So the first one you saw in my purchases. It is, excuse me, I might be crying again, just so you know. I purchased this yarn at Destin Yarn because always when I go, I always want to get some of On the Round Rachel. I love her work. I love her color sense. And I wanted to use it right away. I had planned on getting some yarn and starting the Vanilla is the New Black sock, which I did. If you follow me on Instagram, you've followed the process of this. But I balled this yarn up Thursday afternoon prior to Ted's stroke because I was going to start it. So I started this project while in the hospital in Florida. I started it. So we were in the hospital for a little over a week. He was admitted on Thursday the 21st, and we were there until Saturday it was actually, it was actually March the 2nd when we traveled from Florida to St. Louis to the rehab. So we were in Florida until the 2nd of March. So in the process of that, I started these while we were in the hospital. I actually finished the heel, this part, just 2 rows of the heel, and turned the heel on the medical transport ride from Florida to St. Louis. And this is pretty much all of the knitting that I've gotten done on this in the last 2 weeks. I did, however, finish the red hat on the weekend. I think it was last weekend. Yeah. So that is one work in progress. And the other work in progress, I started right after I finished the other Tecumseh and before we left for Florida. I started another Tecumseh. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it. I took it with me to Florida, but I did very little work on it in Florida. And I probably was right in through here before we left for Florida. And I did some work over the last 2 weeks on this. So anyway, we know the Tecumseh. It is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry by Caitlin Hunter. The yarn I'm using is this. The main color is a Lion Brand Big Scoop, Ice Cream Big Scoop in the Moon Mist colorway. The cross, which you may or may not be able to see, is the pink from the baby blanket I crocheted. You can't really tell. You can't really. Anyway, the pink is from Hobium Yarns Copart. Anyway, forgive me. This is the Ac Soft from the blanket that I made, the leftovers from the blanket that I made for Marley, the new granddaughter. And the gray is the leftover yarn from my first Tecumseh. It is the Cozy Wool Sport Cartapo. So those are the 3 colors. And you can see where I am in the process. I haven't knit a whole lot, and I guess I really should be knitting. But yeah. So the reason why I haven't been knitting much is because, and I'm going back to storytelling, is that I've been going to work in the morning, coming home, doing laundry or whatever I have to do, and then going back and spending the night at the hospital with Ted, just to make sure that he has what he needs so that he can make a best recovery possible. So, yeah. And while I'm there, it's just, I just want to spend time with him. I don't want to knit a whole lot. I have knit a few rows here and there, but this is what my life is right now. It'll get better. And I don't know when the next time I will podcast again. Please bear with me, and I'll talk to you when I see you again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.